There is a lot of activity going on around Chrisean Rock, Blueface, and their son. And whether you've been following along from the beginning or are just now getting caught up, you're going to learn why people are concerned, why tempers are erupting, and why this is more than just celebrity drama. There is a child at the heart of this very genuine narrative. Tension was high even before Chrisean gave birth to her son in September 2023. What began as uncertainty and worry escalated into a full-blown panic. As their pregnancy was revealed through viral videos and court visits that had everyone talking on Instagram, individuals were actually afraid of what might happen to this baby, not simply speculating. The turmoil continued. There was still a lot of noise when he eventually got there. It grew louder. Pause a moment. You are already familiar with the procedure. If you are getting settled for this roller coaster, get comfortable and grab a snack. You can also check out our snacks if you want to enhance the experience. For freeze-dried sweets, butter, toffee peanuts, and applewood smoked bacon jerky, visit www. Okay, let's resume our discussion as there is a lot to unpack. This narrative stems from a protracted, tumultuous relationship. Chrisean, and for many years, Blueface has been intermittently active. With his ex-partners Jade and Alexis, he already had 2 kids. There were moments when the women's drama became ugly. There was the notorious incident with the front tooth. Subsequently, Chrisean emerged with a new tooth that bore the image of Blueface. It moved all the time, was brazenly public, and was untidy. Some believe that Chrisean's announcement of her pregnancy would be the turning point. Perhaps the altercations would lessen. Perhaps the mayhem would simmer. A baby might stabilize the issue. If anything, though, the attention got harsher. Blueface stated on social media that Chrisean had been drinking while pregnant. He claimed that she had an alcohol addiction and forewarned that the newborn will enter a world where she would immediately revert to her previous behaviors. The fire was fueled by media figures' comments. She allegedly faced him on a call while smoking and clearly pregnant, according to DJ Academic's on-camera allegations. There were other videos that went viral showing Chrissy smoking and drinking while pregnant, including footage from her reality program with Blueface. Internet users fell into full panic mode and pleaded for help from anyone. Individuals were not merely holding on to pearls. The risks were being listed. If you've spent time with medical experts, you'll understand why so many were afraid. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, which can include low birth weight, developmental delays, learning and behavioral difficulties, and long-term neurological effects, are among the worst consequences of prenatal alcohol consumption. The comments were harsh. She was charged by some of selfishness. Given the instability of her life at the time, some people felt she shouldn't have been pregnant in the first place. Naturally, there were also some who believed the internet should be left alone. The worry, however, was not abating. Then the birth occurred. Chrisean webcast the arrival of her kid live on September 3, 2023. It was heartfelt, unvarnished, and went viral right away. Many were moved. Should have been private, according to some. In the meantime, Blueface was seen having fun in Miami. Chrisean said afterwards that she had not even invited him to the hospital. She wrote on social media that she would passionately defend her son and not let strange, negative individuals near him. Supporters grew as a result of Matt's attitude, but it also created new opportunities. Critics clapped back. But what was he being protected from? Because it appears like the danger is currently coming from within the house. After that, Carlos, Blueface's mother, is baffled. When live and cosign, a commenter stated that he didn't want the baby anymore. Thus, he didn't need to be present during the delivery. She basically informed Chrisean that he had to deal with the repercussions of being with someone who already had a family and urged that he stay away and save Jaden. A lot of viewers were upset by that because they wanted to know why a grandmother was making headlines in public rather than encouraging peaceful family turmoil on the internet in real time. 2 days after the baby was born, Blueface accused Chrisean of being self-centered. If she failed to make significant adjustments and take motherhood seriously for at least 30 days, he would file for custody in court. The peace was lost, but Chrisean retained custody. She tweeted a picture of her days-old son cuddled up with tiny headphones on after taking him to a recording studio. The internet ripped her to shreds. According to commenters, that setting was dangerous for a newborn. In defense, she said that he was safe and at ease. Here's the thing. The first few weeks are critical for a newborn. They have essentially non-existent immune systems. Their body temperature is difficult for them to control, and light and noise can easily overstimulate them. For this reason, a lot of specialists advise keeping a newborn in discreet, regulated settings. The mother's body heals intensely for a while after giving birth. Because of the fluctuations in your hormones, you are more susceptible to health issues. As a result, not all comments were being theatrical when they raised the alarm. There were those who were sincerely attempting to raise a warning. The Walmart moment followed. Cameras from TMZ captured Chrissy carrying her son in a car seat without holding his neck up. As he dozed, his head sagged back. The video was the type that quickly goes viral and is really popular. Instead of hitting record every time she slipped, she answered live, stating she was overwhelmed trying to juggle too much and that people would help her in real life. She also claimed that the baby's father was not assisting her. She didn't see why he had anything to say about her management. Style days are dashed to dashed. In the meantime, Blueface did something that almost everyone felt went too far. He insisted that she correct a medical issue he brought to light by posting a picture of the baby's intimate area. He was criticized for it on the internet, suggesting that sharing a child's sensitive medical concern in that way was completely wrong and might even be against the law. Chrissy later claimed that surgery was necessary to fix the problem, which was a hernia. That was never going to be handled by posting the child's body online, but the spectators didn't let up. Some people began making assumptions about the baby's potential fetal alcohol syndrome based on images and videos, pointing to his facial traits and attempting to act as online doctors. In response, Chrissy argued that her son was healthy and that the real physicians would have informed her if there were any health issues. She was correct in that final statement. The diagnosis section is hardly frequently used. However, popular apprehension was not a sudden development. They had been afraid of how the pregnancy had developed. The concern persisted despite the lack of a diagnosis. Loud, unrelenting, and unrelenting. The throng began to divide in a different manner at that moment. In order to demand that, Child Protective Services become involved. Some strangers became so alarmed that they started a petition called Protect the Innocent. The internet was going too far, according to some, and involving CPS would only make matters worse. Then, in December 2023, things became even more unstable. According to a lot of posts and accounts, Blueface and Jaden visited Christians. Hal was present in the morning and attempted to seize the infant. She left him with a buddy to go to a party, he said. He allegedly assaulted her friend and drove off recklessly with the infant, even crashing the car with their son inside. But she denied that. The tales were incongruous. Allegations, panic, and uncertainty were all mixed together. And once more, a baby in the center. As 2024 rolled around, the legal troubles mounted. Blueface ended up spending some time behind bars after being arrested on a probation violation. Chrissy and she were arrested in June 2024 on an outstanding warrant, according to TMZ and other outlets. This implied that one parent was out of the picture and that the other parent was trying to keep it together or hold it down, depending on your point of view. Child Services reportedly intervened and took the infant out of her custody for a while. The child's placement details were official but not made public. He was completely invisible on the internet for a few months. Even while it didn't allay the persistent worries about what was happening, many people praised Chrissy's decision to keep him off the internet until she returned in September 2024. In the background, there were apparently more calls to CPS by the middle of 2025. The most recent viral video purported to show a child sitting by themselves in a stroller on a beach late at night, with users estimating that it was perhaps 3 in the morning. It was unclear what the context was. The video was short. The indignation wasn't. Once more, a deluge of responses poured in, with some calling for everyone to back out of a family tragedy, others pleading for empathy, and still others begging for assistance from a screen they will never completely grasp. Thus, what occurs to a growing up amid such volatility as a child? That is the question that remains once the outcry subsides. Early childhood includes more than simply adorable pictures and little sneakers. It is part of the brain's wiring. During the early years, children develop their fundamental ideas about safety, love, and the predictability of the world. Emotionally present caregivers, peaceful routines, and consistent care all contribute to a person's sense of security. The converse is true for ongoing stress, uncertainty, and public humiliation. They may leave behind symptoms like sleep problems, delayed development, and behavioral outbursts and trouble developing bonding relationships. The youngster always attacks when the grown-ups choose chaos over order. That doesn't mean the story is over or that course correction isn't feasible. Given the proper help, many families have recovered from difficult beginnings. But let's face it, what does support really look like? The next viral video is not being cheered on by followers. The rituals are monotonous, loving, and regular. A steady, sober adult is always present in the house. Visits to the pediatrician are maintained, and if there are developmental issues, and an entire village of people who are there in person rather than just in the comments. Rather than waiting until everything is on fire, this postpartum mental healthcare is proactive. Family therapy, setting limits on the internet, and being willing to do things that may seem uncool but are necessary, such as turning off the camera when the baby cries, remaining at home while your body is still mending, and seeking help without feeling embarrassed are all part of it. Accountability and compassion are also topics of greater discussion here. Internet users adore villains. It also enjoys correcting others by giving them advice that would embarrass even the most resilient people. However, this isn't about boxing. It's a baby's early years. It's important to be accountable as a parent. You cannot ignore your child's needs. But sympathy is also important, particularly when there is obvious overwhelm. The best thing anyone can do while watching is to refrain from revealing the child's personal moments. Give up conjecturing about illnesses you are not competent to identify, and advocate for solutions that put the parent's safety and stability before spectacles. It's a straightforward but difficult call. Your actions must be consistent with the caption if you are sincere about safeguarding your child. That means fewer public battles and more private repairs, fewer late nights and more bedtime routines, and fewer live feeds and more appointments. If substance abuse is involved, the conversation needs to include actual therapy rather than simply promises. If co-parenting seems unachievable, treatment cannot be a joke if there is unprocessed trauma. A legal framework and closely watched interactions may be required until everyone is well enough to work together. It's not glamorous at all. It is all love. While we're here, let's discuss the audience's role. Everybody has witnessed how an economic downturn can be turned around by a camera. While sharing a delicate video may seem like a way to spread awareness, it can also leave a youngster who never wanted attention in a lasting digital shadow. The most effective initiatives don't necessarily appear to be viral. They may appear to be minding your business at times unless you provide concrete, useful information for experts who can assist. They may appear to be avoiding information that takes advantage of children. They might appear as limits and empathy at times. May be curious about what comes next. It really depends on the decisions made off camera. If there are no more rumors, the adults will consider this a warning. A fresh start, fewer scandals, greater stability, and a child who is allowed to be a child are all possible. The internet will fabricate the tale for them, more agencies will become involved, and more court dates will be posted if the cycle persists. Here, it's not necessary for the cameras to be the focal point. So does the baby's health? You are aware that there have been tender moments if you have followed this story from the start. The affection that both parents have for their child is evident. While love serves as the foundation, unstructured love is anarchy. As well as love noise is what happens when there is no responsibility. The change from boisterous love to steady love must occur at that point. From staring at me to staring at him, he's asleep. He is secure. He is doing fine. If the narrative triggers you, it might be because it reflects your own experiences. Your reminder is here. It is the result of small, unglamorous choices. When the moment comes, put the infant to sleep. Remember to keep the next appointment. Ask the inquiry you're afraid to ask the nurse. Let the helpful friend do what they are supposed to do. If you're experiencing difficulties with substance use or postpartum emotions, contact a licensed professional or give a local hotline a call. Parents who are strong are not flawless. They are resourceful. When the day's over, this has nothing to do with who posts the best clapback or who wins the argument. It concerns a young guy who deserves a peaceful, affectionate upbringing and didn't request any of this. He should be safeguarded without a show, held without cameras, and fed without comments. He deserves grown-ups who consistently put him before the occasion. This is where I land then. While the drama is loud, the reality is silent. The diaper bag was really packed the previous evening. During bedtime, a phone is actually placed face down. Being sober, showing up for appointments, saying sorry when you make a mistake, and trying again the next day are all examples of the truth. The truth is a child who can sleep, knowing that his loved ones are bigger than the internet regardless of how huge it gets. This should be the story's pivotal moment, if there is one. More refuge, less spectacle. Because opting for stability in a world that thrives on upheaval is the most audacious plot twist of